Hello everyone. What is this? This is the first episode of a video series I've been meaning to make for a while called the Gamemaster Toolkit. The Gamemaster Toolkit is intended to be a visual aid, a mechanical aid for people wanting to game master in the Pathfinder role-playing system. Pathfinder is a very interesting role-playing game, but it's also very rules-heavy. And one of the problems with that is, as a new GM, if you come into the game, it can be very daunting looking at just the walls and the pages and pages of text and mechanics that you have to remember, memorize, and employ to game master that game. It might also be that you're a veteran or like just you're a well-practiced GM coming into the system for the first time. You might not really have the aptitude to work with the mechanics presented to you. You know, we operate differently. We come from different branches of role-playing, and not everyone is going to have the same aptitude for all kinds of mechanics. So in this case, the Gamemaster Toolkit is designed to help alleviate that by showing and telling. So the first topic, the topic of this video, is going to be how we design an encounter in Pathfinder. We do that in the Pathfinder role-playing game by designing on an experience budget. This is not design in the sense that how do we create fitting encounters and like choose the right monsters for the right tone of the game. That's not the kind of design we're talking. We're speaking on a strictly mechanical, like naked mechanical level. How do we design using the Pathfinder experience budget system? Let's start out by adding that, shall we? How do we design, how do we build encounters on an experience budget? Okay. So this is going to be the topic of the first video. To build encounters and to understand the Pathfinder method of encounter building, we're going to look at it in 3 steps. 3 steps are going to be, first, we figure out the average party level of the adventuring group, of the players. So, figure out the APL. It's the first. Second, we want to, once we figured out the APL, we want to figure out the challenge rating. And third, we want to build the encounter. Okay, so this is the 3 things we want to do to work with this system. Let's start at the top. The average party level. What does that mean? How do we find it? The average party level is the mean of the levels of all the members of the adventuring party. So how do we figure this if you're like me and you're bad at math? What you do is you add the levels of the individual party members together, so you just sum them up. So let's say you have a party of 4 level 4 characters. You would say, okay, we have 1 character with 4 levels, plus another character with 4 levels, plus another, and plus another. So we have 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Well, that's 16. Okay. So we have 16. Then we want to divide that, the number 16, with the amount of party members. So it's 16 divided by 4. That's 4. So 4, now we have the mean of it. That means 4 is our APL for a party of 4 level 4 characters. In this case, let's be really clear about this. Let's write it here for visual reference. Good. All right. So we have this is how we figure out the APL. You can do this also if your party has like if you have a party with characters that are of a different level from each other. So you have a party of a level 3 rogue, a level 4 fighter, a level 5 wizard, and a level 6 ranger. Then it's 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 divided by 4. So that's how you figure the APL out. That's the first step done with. Once you figured that out for your party, then you can skip to the next step, which is figuring out the challenge rating. When we build on a budget in Pathfinder, we have separate kinds of encounters. Encounters are on a difficulty scale from easy to epic. And we pick the challenge rating based on the APL of the party plus or minus a certain modifier. So if we want to make an let's say challenge rating, we want to make an easy encounter, we'd say then the challenge rating has to be the APL of the group minus 1. So for aforementioned group of APL 4 characters, that would be an easy encounter would have a challenge rating of their APL minus 1, that is 3. An average encounter would be a challenge rating of their APL flat, unmodified. A challenging encounter would be their APL, a challenge rating of their APL plus 1. Hard, their APL plus 2. And epic, their APL plus 3. So this is how we establish the general level of difficulty we want in the party. Is this encounter supposed to just like be for them to breeze through? Then we can design an easy encounter for them. Is this supposed to be like the biggest and toughest battle of this arc of the story? We might want an epic encounter. In that case, we can design for that. So we pick our challenge rating based on what we want from the encounter and based on the average party level. Once we have so let's stop there and take a moment. So we have the challenge rating. What is a challenge rating? What does that mean? That's not useful to us. It's something we can't just pick it out of thin air. So challenge rating, everything that is built to present a challenge within the Pathfinder system, this being monsters or bandits, like people with class levels and so on, or traps or magical hazards, that kind of stuff, a landslide. All of this is noted as having a certain challenge rating. And once a thing has a certain challenge rating, it has an experience cost or an experience reward if the players overcome it. Where do we find this? This is presented in the Pathfinder core rulebook. Let's write this down, in fact. This is found in the Pathfinder core rulebook. It's on table 12.2, called Experience Point Awards, and it's on page 398. This is where you will find that table. That table has a list of all the, a lot of challenge ratings from very low to very high, and all the challenge ratings has an experience cost associated with them. So it'll say, let's have a look at it actually. Let's go into this page here. Right, this is the Pathfinder SRD. It's a web page. This is what that table looks like. So you can see challenge rating 1 has a total experience of 400. So challenge rating 2, 600, and so on and so on and so on and so on. This is how we would. This is what we would use to design an encounter. This is the budget we have to allocate and spend on creatures or objects within the setting that we can challenge the players with. Well, we can challenge the player characters with. Challenging the players is entirely different. Okay, so let's try and do this. Let's say we have a party of level 5 characters, 4 level 5 characters. We want to make them an average encounter, a challenging encounter, and an epic encounter. Okay. So, APL of 5, average encounter. For an APL of 5, making an average encounter means taking the APL of 5 and adding no modifier to it. So we want the challenge rating to be 5. A challenge rating of 5 gives us, if we consult aforementioned table, we can do that again here. See, we see challenge rating 5, 1600. So A challenge rating of 5 gives us an experience budget of 1600 experience points that we can buy stuff to challenge them with. Let's say we want to keep this really easy, like really simple. In that case, we might just want to use a single monster. Let's do that. Let's say a single monster, challenge rating 5. Let's say we use a troll. A troll is challenge rating 5, it costs 1600 experience. This is perfect, right? This is one creature that will be an averagely challenging encounter for this group. To find the experience cost and the challenge rating of creatures, you can look up their entries. It will say troll, challenge rating 5, experience award of 1600. Okay, but this is an average encounter. That was easy. But it's also really simple, right? It's just one troll. Like the party wanders into a cave and there's a troll. Okay. Let's say we want to get a bit more challenging. Let's say this is not just any cave. Let's say this is the cave of Karak that thought abandoned, but now it's host to a troll. Let's keep the troll. But let's say it's also host to a number of other creatures based on the experience points we have. So we want to say challenging encounter. And in this case, because our APL is 5 and the challenging encounter would be APL plus 1, we have a challenge rating of 6, which in this case is 2400 experience. So, 2400 experience points. Well, we already have the troll, we can just copy that. That's 1600 experience done with. Now we just need to spend another 800. So let's say the troll has orcs guarding it, right? It's not just a troll, it's like a troll raider, and it raids with these orcs that work with it. So we could look at the challenge rating of an orc. If we do that, we will see that it's challenge rating 1/3. Don't worry about that. You don't have to think too much about what is challenge rating 1/3. Just reference it on the table mentioned. You will see that then gives it an experience cost of 135. So how many 135 creatures can we get on a budget of 800? Well, we can get 6 if we go 10 experience point over budget, which I think is acceptable in this case. So let's just do that for the sake of this example. Let's say it has orcs, it has 6 of them, and that comes out to 810 experience. Great. So this right here is now our challenging encounter. For a total of 2,410 experience points. Now let's remove these for a moment. Let's take these over here. No, let's keep them. We can wiggle this in, right? We can make room. In fact, we'll just make it all a bit smaller. There. Get it nice and cozily tucked away in a corner. Okay, let's design an encounter that is epic. Let's design an epic encounter. Okay, so to buy an epic encounter, right, we look at the APL. The APL is still 5, it's the same party, but it's the APL plus 3, so it's 8, challenge rating 8. It's a lot. Challenge rating 8 gives us a budget of 4,800 experience. So epic encounter, challenge rating 8, 4,800 experience. This is gonna be the big one, right? This is if it's not just the troll and it's not just the orc warband, right? This is like the troll king of the red marshes, and he works out of the caverns of Karak, long abandoned, with his little raiding band of orcs. But of course, like a real troll lord would, let's say he has pets. So we'll take, first of all, we'll take the same stuff here. Just repeat what we got before. Good, so far so good. But he has pets. So let's say he has 2 direwolves. He has 2 direwolves that direwolves each are 800 experience. So that comes out to 1600, much like the troll himself. Right, he has 2 direwolves, Barky and Bitey, he names them affectionately. Bulky and Bitey do just that. However, sometimes their names and associated responsibilities overlap, and they both bite and bark. As our adventurers will soon know as they enter the fabled caves of Karak. Okay, so far so good. Now we have 800 experience left to work with. Well, strictly speaking, we have 390, but, 790. But let's just allow ourselves to go 10 over budget again, and let's say we have 800 experience to work with. We again consult the table and see that 800 experience would equal a challenge rating 3 thing. So let's say we don't want to use creatures, because in this case, hypothetically, I decide that this is enough creatures. We don't want, I don't want to be rolling dice all through the encounter, and the players never get to roll dice. They have to wait for, let's say, 16 or 12 orcs to make their rolls. No, we might just change up the landscape. Let's put a trap in there. Buy a trap, and a challenge rating 3 trap would be 800. I know that the camouflaged pit trap is challenge rating 3. It costs 800. So yeah, trap, camouflaged pit trap, and we'll just say that is 800 experience. There. So we have a big boss. We have a troll, strong troll. We have his orcs, his orc minions, and we have his pets, 2 direwolves, and now there's a trap in the room. So because this is an epic encounter, we might say that the troll and the orcs, knowing that they're infamous, have dug a pit there and cunningly disguised it to deal with interlopers or people who want to come and take over their hunting grounds. So the players are going to step into this if they fail their perception checks and they move on onto the part of the map that has the trap. So that could change up the dynamic of the battle real quickly. But now we have an encounter of 4,810 experience points. We've designed an epic encounter on the budget. So this is how you design encounters on the Pathfinder role-playing game experience budget. I hope this has been very helpful to you. There will be more topics covered in the future, but this is it for now. I'll be back with more videos covering different stuff. If this helped, leave a like and comment if you feel like it, or don't. But I hope this helped you out, or it might help someone you know. Anyway, I hope you have fun with the Pathfinder role-playing game, and see you next time. Peace.